What made you choose the name Sula?
It means jewel or an item that shine in Tagalog.
I go by 3 Ps. I'm very
Yeah.
much blessed to have Mark.
Kilig naman, Mark. We're getting sappy here.
Yeah, of course. You will
You'll
never
never
know
be-
that you're ready.
You'll never know,
You
but it's a gut
always-
feeling
Yes.
that I need to start this
Correct.
now.
Actually, it's an option of showing up.
Welcome to Business and Tsismis, where we uncover stories that make the hustle worth it. My name is Vanessa Caro, and today we are focusing on the Limitless series powered by Eastern Communications. I am so excited because we have two incredible powerhouses in the drink and beverage industry. Joining me is Vernon Carandang and, of course, Mark Rivera from Drink Sula. Welcome to Business and Tsismis. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Hi, Vanessa. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, of course. We've heard so much about Drink Sula, and for our viewers that haven't heard about it yet, you will soon because this has become one of the most fastest rising beverage brands, especially here in the Philippines. What got you both into the beverage industry?
Well, it all started when me and Mark really wanted to export.
Yes.
So, we actually went to Italy. We went to Europe. We had a Europe trip.
Oh, wow. Europe. Oh, my gosh.
And then for us, it was kind of like we're gonna figure things out what we want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time, we're looking for opportunities that's out there. So
Right.
since Mark is Italian, so we went to Italy, and then initially we really wanted to kind of export coconuts,
Oh,
anything
okay.
raw, anything about coconut, because we feel like
It's really a part of the Philippines.
exactly, and we have a lot of source, especially here in the
Yes.
Philippines, and we can help local farmers at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But we really didn't know what the market has in store for us.
Right.
And then when we came back to the Philippines, we actually came about our manufacture, and that's where it
Okay.
all started with the coconut liquor, and the rest is history. But more can add.
The rest
Yes,
is
yes.
history. Yes.
Actually, it was, we really took the risk right
Yeah.
away because
Mhm.
all we know that Italians and Italy is really choosy and snobbish in
Yes.
terms of F&B and quality,
Right,
right?
right.
So we went straight forward to Italy and test the market and ask for feedbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And for 2 months, we went around the European countries also. And we went back to the Philippines more confident that we had the right product
The right
to,
product. Because
to launch.
Italians, they are quite picky in what they give their stamp of approval on,
Correct,
right?
yes.
So it's very interesting. That's really a good strategy, when it comes to testing out the market because they can be the most critical when it comes to food
Correct.
and beverage. How did you come about, this idea? Because Drink Sula is really something special of its own.
Yeah.
What made you choose the name Sula?
Okay, I think first because we really wanted to promote the Philippines,
Yes.
especially for me that I grew up in Italy from
Mhm.
Filipino parents.
Parents.
And
Mhm.
the image of Filipinos are really, really different. So they
Different,
called
yes.
us Filipino katulong. So I grew up with this stigma, and now our motivation, our vision and mission is all about the Filipinos in our country.
Right.
And that's why we came up with the SULA. It means jewel or an item that shine in Tagalog, called Tagalog. And we really want to promote the Philippines in the international market because we really have premium gems, not just in sources, but also talents, skills, and also the people behind.
And
the
Mark,
country.
just out of curiosity, your mom is the Filipino one?
They're both Filipinos.
Oh, your dad as well?
Yes,
Okay.
they met there in in Italy.
In Italy.
My mom is from Batangas, Lipa, and my
okay.
dad is from Pampanga, Arayat.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's a lot of Filipino that runs in your family, and at the
Yes.
same time, you still have that Italian culture.
Yes.
Now, when you were building Sula, I'm sure you've faced many challenges along the way. What kind of challenges did you face? Because I love the mission of bringing the Filipinos to the international stage, and it's not just about, highlighting certain things about our country and our people, but it's also about the good and amazing things. What were the challenges that you faced?
I think the most challenging part for us is really figuring things out in the liquor industry. because we had no idea
No
what we're
idea.
No
doing.
background at
No
all.
background.
I see. But you love to drink, tama ba?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
not, we're
Yeah.
not like big drinkers.
Right,
But we're
right.
like, we drink, but we've never thought that we're gonna be in this kind of industry. So
Yes.
it's more of like, okay, Mark, how do we do this? Where do we start? But I feel like as long as you have the right passion and the right
Mhm.
intentions, everything will just fall into the right place. And as long
Yes.
as you're humble enough to learn and to ask help from people around you who's been in the industry for quite some time.
Right, because you both have been in the industry in different industries
Yeah.
for
Yes.
quite some time. So
Totally different.
I think that has helped as well, not just in the marketing, but also the PR and the connections.
Yeah.
It has blended really well from what we've seen from the audience, from myself as a Sula, someone who loves Sula. What sets you apart from other competitors or other people or other companies in the beverage industry?
I would say Sula is all about the art of drinking. So
Mhm.
I think gone are the days where people would get drunk to, party and get up. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
That's all
can
right.
cut
It's the
that.
chismis
But
section.
just really to get wasted and lose themselves. I
Mm.
think at the end of the day, what you want to teach people is to have great drinks over great conversations. It's
Yeah.
about really spending times with your loved ones, with your friends, and really appreciating the drink and the
Right.
flavors that's in the drinks.
And because the flavors are so carefully picked, you have your coffee, your chocolate, and coconut.
Coconut.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Baka I'm a hidden brand ambassador of Sula. But you have so many creative developments with the brand, no? How do you manage the not so fun stuff like the finance and the accounting and making sure that the operations are put well together? Aside from the beautiful things of having events and inviting people to try your drinks, how do you manage the business, between the two of you?
It was very important first to analyze ourselves, where
Mhm.
we're good at and where we are weak.
Yes.
I like
certain things.
spending,
Yes.
so
So
he's the one who's like, Vernon, you gotta stop this. I mean, I'm like, but this is worth it,
It's worth it. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, so that's why we focused on our weaknesses, and that was the
Yes.
time where we approached help from friends and people with
Mhm.
experience.
Right.
So it was the beginning was really challenging, but moving forward, we realized that it's part of the business and the
Yes.
entrepreneurship industry that it's nonstop problems, nonstop challenging. We just need to solve it and move forward.
And keep
Uh,
going forward.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
So that was the fun part. That it also made us realize how strong has to be the core between the two co-founders.
Right.
I
Right.
think at the end of the day, it's when me and Mark started this, it's like business is like a marriage. Especially, it's hard to do
Yes.
business with your friends.
Absolutely.
Everyone would say their piece of story like, "Hey, I don't recommend you to do business with your friends." But I
Yes.
feel like, as
As
long
long
as
as
you
you're
have a
transparent. Mm-hmm.
strong foundation, I
Mm-hmm.
think me and Mark were two very, very different people. Mark has his own core strength that I cannot do, and I also have my own core
Right.
strength that I can do, and we both have weaknesses. And how do we strengthen that? And along the way, we also recognize that we can't do things, we can't
Yes.
scale up because we're not just equipped to do it. So it's allowing other people to be able to hire them or work with them
Mm-hmm.
and then learning from them. I think that's the most important thing, that we're continuously being like a sponge, growing and really being hungry to bring our brand to higher.
And of course, it's important to have a team to help you. How do you motivate the team members that you work with to, push the growth that you guys have been doing so well on?
Yeah, first, we have really a junior team in our
Yes.
company and with not much experience. But if everyone knows the direction and believe in the brand,
Mm-hmm.
it's not really difficult to spread to grow together with them.
And drive the vision.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Mhm.
So right now, we're getting help from experts to train our junior team.
Yes.
But we really believe that we're blessed for the people that we have.
Yes.
And we have a lot of faith that we need daily, not during the good times, but also during the bad times. So that's what makes Sula unique.
I love it.
And I also feel like we don't need to ask our employees to even like do OT or extend. They
Right.
would really just
Just for the love of the brand.
yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, because they know the long term vision of it. They're part of it. It's not
Mhm.
about us.
Yes.
It's really making them feel like, hey, this is us. This is us making a difference, and
Yes.
this is us taking the Philippines out there globally. So I think as long as you have and share the same vision,
Yeah.
they would purposely really give their 100% or more to your
I
company.
love that. And just by seeing you both as young entrepreneurs, I'm not going to say your age, but my gosh, you guys look amazing.
Thank
Um,
you.
it's really nice to see how brands are really focused on driving the vision and the mission, but not just that, the why and why it's so important to create a brand that resonates with people, especially Filipinos, by taking it to a global stage. Now, because of Sula's success in a span of what, 1 year?
A
When did you
year
guys
and three
launch?
months.
A year
Yeah,
and three
almost 3 months.
months?
We
Wow.
started selling, technically selling January 2024.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, what kind of marketing strategies have you used? Let's say maybe one or two that you can give, our viewers some tips to really help them propel their brands forward as well.
For the marketing, I think what we really leveraged on is our network.
Yes.
So when you're starting a business,
Mhm.
you don't need a big capital. You first see what's the opportunity around you.
Mm-hmm. I
And
love that. See what's
luckily,
the opportunity. Yes.
me and Mark,
Mhm.
we came from TVC,
Mhm.
media,
Entertainment.
entertainment industry, and along the way, we actually did a lot of collaborations.
Mhm.
Like for example, we did our launch in Venice, Italy.
Okay.
So one of our good friend,
Yeah.
we actually met him during our trip to Europe in Paris,
Mhm.
not knowingly eventually he would help us
Open the doors for Sula.
exactly
Right.
and launch it. So he was like, I'm having a vernissage for Mark Nickdow in Venice, Italy, in one of the palaces there. Would you want to be like a drink sponsor? And me and Mark were like, we don't have a bottle,
Yeah,
we
finish
don't
the
have
branding
anything,
yet.
we don't have any, but you know what, we'll go there, so
Right.
like literally it's crazy. I had to carry
Yeah,
300 glasses
yeah.
up to the
We
palace.
really had no
Right.
staff. It was the two of us
Yes.
Yeah,
flying there, creating the booth,
we had to
Wow.
setting up the
smuggle
events,
we had to smuggle like bottles of
alcohol,
alcohol
liqueurs,
because
Alcohol.
yeah.
there's like we can only bring 5, we have to
Right.
bring 30. Mark had to
5 liters per
message
person.
Oh my
Yeah,
Mark had
goodness.
to message balikbayans like, papunta ka bang Italy? Pwede mo bang dalhin
we
You
will
yung
bring
pay you
this.
for
bottles and
Right.
then like we'll pay you X amount of money. So we tapped different people who's going to Italy to carry our bottles and
Right.
then consolidated it
And
there and
that's a
then
good strategy
crazy.
right there because, business is it's multifaceted, but at the same time, it's so challenging that you have to find the right strategies in order to make it work,
Yes.
especially during the first stages of growth.
Exactly.
Talk about grit, right? Because we're talking about SME stories of growth and grit as well and being so interconnected. I'm so happy because when Eastern Communications mentioned to us here on Business and Chismis that they really want to highlight Drink Sula and everything that they've done for your community and Eastern as well, and powering communications and interconnectedness because it really aligns with everything that you're doing. How do you maintain your philosophy and ensure that your customers are taken care of? Because that's really something that's also important to us and Eastern
Yeah,
Communications.
first, our real marketing strategy is liquid to lips. We
Yeah,
always remind people how it tastes and what's the experience that Sula Spirits is giving. So
right.
the experience that you want to give, it's not just the Filipino, but
Mhm.
also for the foreigners that whenever they bring Sula in their countries with four
Right.
seasons, they miss the summer.
Yes,
Whenever they taste it, they get transported to the islands of the
I
Philippines.
love it.
Yeah.
Just to add to that, I think most importantly, we're anchored into our ethos, which
Mhm.
is Philippines should be experienced. Our heritage
Yes.
shouldn't just be remembered. We believe that it should be felt, it
Mhm.
should be tasted, it should be celebrated. I think more than anything, we are here to share stories and our culture and our
Yes.
flavors and what can we offer to the world.
Right.
So I think as long as we're anchored to that experience, sharing to the world, we'll always be relevant. There's
Right.
always something to say. There's always something to share.
That's so heartwarming. The Philippines need to be experienced.
Experience.
And I think also it has a lot to do with the digital landscape. It's evolving continuously on a daily basis. And I think also when you bring Drink Sula out of the Philippines as a visitor or someone who wants to take back a gift, it's such a special gift because not only the bottle looks beautiful, but it tastes incredible. And I feel like every time I'm drinking it, I'm or I escape to the islands, right?
Correct.
So that's really nice. Um, Mark and Vernon, I would love to pick your brain because we have a quick fire round. So we're gonna alternate questions.
Sure.
But you ready for this?
Super ready.
Okay,
Let's do
cool.
it.
If you were to impress a client with a signature drink, what would you make?
Mark.
Signature cocktail with Sula, mix of coconut and coffee liqueur. So it gives that type of sensation that give you really transported to the beach.
Oh my goodness, that sounds really good. If there was one innovation, perhaps tech driven, that you think will disrupt the beverage industry, what do you think that would be?
I have two things. It's AI smart mixology. So I
Okay.
remember when we went to Prague.
Okay.
So there's actually this robot who creates cocktails for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's gonna be amazing if we'll be able to, have that in different places here. And to add to that, there's also an AI e-commerce type of thing wherein they actually study your behavior in terms of buying alcohol. And I think
I see.
they recommend alcohol through that. And I think there's a lot of AI generated tools now that can really
Right.
amplify your
We are on the
brands.
verge of the growth of
Exactly.
AI.
Yes.
I think baka we can ask Eastern to sponsor AI for us. No, kasi they're very modern when it comes to their ways in technology and digital essence. Mark, neat or on the rocks?
On the rocks.
Why?
I want to feel the pure flavor.
The pure flavor. Absolutely. And Vernon, if there was one social media platform, just one, that you would use to market Drink Sula, which one would that be for direct to consumer?
I think social media is a very powerful tool
Yeah.
because for me it's about storytelling.
Mhm.
So for me, social media tells you a different side of the product. It's not
Mhm.
about hey, buy something, but
Yes.
through social media you can create stories that would resonate your audience.
Is there one specific platform that you think you would choose, or would you choose all of them?
I would choose all of them
Choose all
because
of them.
each and every social media
Mhm.
platform has their own
Yeah.
advantage.
Right.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Now, with all of the digital engagement that you have been creating, there's so much buzz, you guys. If you go on social media and you search Drink Sula, you'll see that they have an event almost maybe every weekend.
Yes.
I mean, who doesn't want to be Drink Sula right now? But how do you maintain that loyal customer base that you are slowly growing? Because you mentioned you're only 15 months in the industry, but parang strong
I
following na.
I think I'd go back to one of my favorite speaker, Simon Sinek. We discussed this during our team building. People actually buy because they believe in what you believe in. It's not, when you say, I'm better than this, it's a
Mhm.
better flavor, it's a better bottle,
Right.
they would logically know it's better. But what would make them purchase your product? It's about how does it resonate? How does it speak to them?
Right.
And like what I mentioned in our company, we believe that Philippines should be experienced. So if they want to taste the islands of the Philippines, if they want to
Yes.
experience something that they've never experienced, so I think that's where we do it, or we
Yeah.
actually communicate.
And I resonate with that so much because I used to live outside of the Philippines for quite some time. And I wanted to come back here because I knew that the Philippines would be the future. Parang, right? Like,
Yes.
we're in one of the best economies right now. It's constantly growing.
Right.
There are a lot of business owners that want to maybe open their own beverage brand, or a lot of business owners that really want to try and also start their business again. What kind of tips do you have for business owners or entrepreneurs that are ready to make their move in the business industry?
I think not specifically for beverage.
Mhm.
I would say for everything.
Yeah.
I always say this. I go by 3 P's. It's purpose. I
Mhm.
think you can never start a business without an authentic purpose.
Yes.
Your audience would technically know and identify, hey, you're just trying to sell me something. But
Right. Mm.
where is your purpose? What's your
Yeah.
why? Number two is passion. I
Mhm.
think at the end of the day, there's a lot of things. You'll eat problems for breakfast.
Right.
You'll have technically problems that you have no idea how you would solve it. But at the end of the day, if you have the passion and grit,
Mhm.
because you have a bigger purpose and why, you'll be able to solve it and push through with your plans. And number three, it's all about partnerships. For me, you partner with God most importantly,
I love that.
and you partner with the right people. I'm very
Yes.
much blessed to have Mark. Uh,
Kilig naman, Mark. We're getting
Whew.
sappy here.
Yeah, of course. Very proud to. We've been through a lot, and
Yeah.
having each other's back is very important.
I think Vernon's getting emotional
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Like I can see his eyes.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
having the right person around. So
Yes.
it's very important to have the right people around you,
Yes.
because they will influence you not just mentally but also emotionally.
And the
also,
choices you make.
yes. So
Oo.
that's the direction that you will get, choosing certain people around you.
Right.
So for us, it was very important to choose the people around us, the family, the values, and that's what keep us very strong in
Yeah.
each day, every day that is very challenging.
It seems like you both have really
I-
built a strong foundation.
I think I got a little bit emotional just because this past few days has been crazy for us.
Yes.
And
In what way, Vernon? Like why has it been crazy?
It's a roller
Chismis segment.
coaster, really roller coaster, that there are things that you cannot expect.
Yeah.
So they think that for 3 months straight, everything is doing good.
Mhm.
There's one day, one small challenge can twist the entire thing, the
I
entire
see.
situation.
Right.
So that's why it's good to build the foundation, the company, the core value, that
Mhm.
whenever you feel you have that obstacle in front of you, you're intact.
Right.
That no one is gonna stop you, and you can move forward towards these problems.
Yes.
I think there's a
Absolutely.
lot of challenges that you go through.
Mhm.
And there are challenges that you can only do so much for yourself.
Right. Right. And there are only so many problems that you can control.
Correct.
And I guess that's where the God part comes in as well, which you
Yes.
mentioned earlier, Vernon.
So self-evaluation is very
Yes.
important.
Awareness.
Different season. We have
Mhm.
all different seasons in our lives.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're strong, sometimes you're weak. So it's always good to be in touch with your partner, best friend, saying, "Oh, I'm weak. This season I'm weak. Can
Yeah.
you feel that space? This month I'm strong. I'm gonna help you and support you and
It's
push you." Yeah.
Right.
It's not
I love
every
that.
day that you have a full cup.
Yes.
So it's how Mark would fill my cup on my empty days and how I would
Yes.
fill his cup
His
on his
cup.
empty.
Yeah.
I'm getting so my heart is touched right now because this is actually one of the first episodes that we've had that two guests are so open and raw with how you are partners and how
Yeah.
you run your business. And that just shows how sentimental and special Drink Sula is, right? All right. So Vernon and Mark, I love that you've been raw and you've been telling me about all of your experiences. But before we get more into that, I really want to talk about or introduce you to a segment called Picture Pass. We're going to be talking about certain business ideas that you think will work or not work. Are
Okay.
you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we'll do this in an alternate
Okay.
form. Okay, so the first picture pass question would be introducing a limited edition of Sula beverage inspired by local tropical fruits, whether that's calamansi, guava, or mangosteen. Pitch or pass?
Pitch.
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 Nice.
All right. Every business should create its own signature drink to serve at events or gift to clients as a unique brand extension promoted via exclusive online campaigns and partnerships, of course, by Drink Sula.
Pitch.
All right. Next question would be the future of the alcohol industry or beverage industry lies in hyper-local breweries focusing on small batch community specific flavors that reflect local culture and ingredients, of course, with online marketplaces helping connect them to a wider audience.
Pitch.
Pitch.
Oh, there's a lot of pitches here. I think these are good ideas, guys.
We're getting more ideas.
More
from
ideas.
Thank
How about a spirits industry that will shift towards sustainability using eco-friendly distilling processes, recyclable bottles, and organic ingredients with digital transparency tools? Pitch or pass?
I would say pitch. Just because Sula is really about sustainability, and
Yes.
especially nowadays, we always want to find something after drinking the beverage.
Mhm.
Our bottles can be transformed into lamps. It can
Yes,
also
I
be
saw that on your
yeah,
social media. It was very nice.
it can actually once you use our customized lamp, it's
Mhm.
actually gonna reflect waves of the ocean.
Yes.
So I think there's a big sustainability growth
also.
here in the Philippines, and
Mhm.
we want to push that. So that's very
There's a lot of
Very
awareness
important.
about
Sustainability,
ecosystem.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, absolutely. And the environment as
correct.
well.
Environment.
We love a multi-purpose bottle.
yeah.
The rise of beverage content creators who specialize in reviewing and promoting unique liquors, wine tours, and cocktail making tutorials on social media, including Drink Sula. Do you guys think that this could be something that we could heavily focus on?
Pitch.
Bitch.
Actually, yes, it's very important to share the real experience
Right.
through their voice, and yeah, we will
Getting their
see.
honest review.
Yeah, honest review instead of just posting a picture,
Right.
consuming it, and that's
Have
it.
you guys tapped into that yet?
We are just about to.
About
Actually,
to?
just after
It's
one
really
year and 3 months, we're just starting influencer marketing. I
Amazing.
know we should have started earlier,
earlier.
but there's just a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. And
Yeah.
just before we round up the picture pass segment, what do you guys think? And you can say picture pass, ha. What do you guys think about creating a flavor or a bottle of Sula based on the region of the Philippines? Is that something you would be interested in doing?
Actually, it's the direction
Direction
that
of what
Sula
we're
Philippines
doing.
has.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you will see
amazing.
more launch, more different flavors in
Flavors.
the
Right.
end of the year, maybe next year.
Our one of our sales would actually pitch his pitch is like,
Mm-hmm.
if you wanna travel to the Philippines, get ready, put your seatbelt on. So let's start with, for example,
With
like coconut from San
yes.
Pablo, chocolate from Davao. So it's really
Yes.
us highlighting different places around the Philippines.
Because certain flavors of the drink Sula bottles also come from different areas within the
Correct.
Philippines,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
So it would make sense. So I guess, guys, that is a pitch.
Totally.
It was so lovely to learn more about your business background. I really want to take the time to get to know the both of you on a more personal level because, you're so intertwined with your business ventures and everything that you do on a daily basis. What goes on in Vernon's head in his spare time and what goes on in Mark's head in his spare time?
Okay, for me, spare time, it's really sleeping
Yes.
and exercise. And recently, I realized that leaving the family when I was young and
Mhm.
moving to the Philippines
Mhm.
without them, it's also spending quality time. So we really realizing that growing, we're all there. Our parents are also growing.
Right.
We're changing, but it's very important to have meaningful time, meaningful memories
Memories
with the
for
loved
sure.
ones. Yes,
I think also as we get older, considering we're still quite young, all
Mm.
of us, we start to appreciate moments more.
correct.
Yeah,
That's very
especially when running a
important.
business.
Yes, yes. Sometimes we actually realize that we started the business almost 2 years ago. 2 years ago, from R&D, starting the branding, the name, brainstorming, and realized that we didn't spend much time with our loved ones. So
Right.
right
So
now,
you're trying
we're
to
trying
get
to
back.
balance
Yes,
everything. Yeah.
I agree. How about you, Vernon?
This is a very difficult question for me because I think like when you're so much into your work, you
Mm-hmm.
actually forget how to balance life. And
Yes.
this has been my struggle. Honestly, I couldn't even answer the question, but I think what I can say is what I'm trying to teach myself now is to be more intentional with where I put my time in.
Yes.
I think right now everything just passes by so quickly.
Right.
Time, money, everything. And as long as you're intentional with what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be careful with where you put your time,
Right.
your
Absolutely.
effort, your everything.
Yes.
You should make it count. So I think having a well balanced, and I do agree with Mark saying that having your time spent with your family,
Mm-hmm.
you really have to think through things and make sure that you have a well balanced life to be able to function well also your business. Because
Right.
if you're not mentally stable, spiritually stable,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not physically stable, your health wise, it will all fall down eventually.
Right.
So you cannot work unless something's missing. So
Yeah.
it
Right.
needs to be a well balanced
Yeah, we
Everything
have
needs
to.
to be aligned.
Yes, we have also
Yeah.
to be sustainable. We do have a
Yes.
Yeah.
routine that is sustainable
Yes.
throughout not just few months, but years and years.
Do you guys have regimented routines on a daily basis, or is this something
No,
that you
together
still
we go to church
We go
every
to church every
Sunday,
Sunday.
every
and we
Sunday?
like to eat.
Yeah.
especially him.
I love
I
to eat
over
food.
order. I'm trying to fix that.
Yeah.
But we like to indulge in different kind of restaurants and food.
Yes,
Right.
experience.
Experience. Yeah,
Experience.
yeah.
Experience and new lessons.
Maybe
Also,
I
yeah.
could take you to Iloilo one
That
day
would
and
be
we could do a
amazing.
tour.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Because it's an entire food tour. But aside from that, do you have any advice or last words to aspiring business owners that really want to follow in your footsteps of what you're doing now?
For me, never rush things.
Yeah.
Trust the timing and
Yes.
surround yourself with the right people, with good influence. And especially if you don't have mentors,
Hmm.
try to be closer to people who have skills that you want to learn.
Right.
So that's very important for me.
I love that. Vernon?
Um, I think as long as you're anchored to your purpose and faith,
Mm-hmm.
I think those two combos would actually help you catapult to wherever you want to go. And
Yes.
as long as you have this grit and persistence,
Yes.
whenever you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like it,
Yes.
you just have to pull yourself back together
And do it
and
anyways.
do it anyways. And I really love this let them theory that I've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about, letting things happen and letting things just
Take
let
its course.
take its course. So yeah, that's it.
But we also, many people already ask us, when do you know that you're ready for business?
Right.
You will
You'll
never
never
know
be
that you're ready.
You'll never know.
You
But it's a gut
always-
feeling
yes.
that I need to start this
Correct.
now.
Actually, it's an option of showing up.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes.
me and Mark, we were like, well, we didn't say this story, but
Mhm.
the way we started was I lost my company
Okay.
and didn't know what to do. I was literally doing the exams for IELTS to actually study abroad and
Okay.
be a nurse there, even though I hated it. And then I had this membership in Manila Pen. I was like, Mark, I have a one night stay in Manila Pen. Why don't we like brainstorm? Why don't we think what we
Right.
want to do and stuff like that?
Do
and
with our
then,
lives.
Yeah.
yeah. And then I brought like a Manila paper
Mhm.
and pentel pen. And then we literally wrote everything that we want to do. We want to do export, we want to do construction, we
Construction.
want to do
Yeah.
mother
All of the
agency,
dreams were
everything.
listed down.
And then we
Yeah.
listed like what's your strength, what's your weakness.
Who do
and
we
then
know in this industry?
exactly
I
who we
love
can
Connected
that.
all the
on.
dots. Yeah.
I love that.
So from there, like we started actually with the Airbnb.
Yeah.
So crazy. I was like, Mark, call anyone who has an Airbnb,
An apartment,
an
that you
apartment
cannot
that
lease.
they cannot lease, and then let's renovate it, but we don't know how to renovate it. He called his church mate who does construction. I'm like, okay, let's do it. In 3 months you're able to like launch that. And
Mhm.
literally when we open it, we had a booking of like 1 month. That's like 130,000. I'm like, Mark, it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
What if you
Wow.
multiply
Oh,
this?
multiply it.
And this
then-
was in the first few months of operation.
yeah,
Yes.
that's where we started.
Actually,
Wow.
first week.
First
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Grabe.
First week. And then literally, and then the same person who we actually managed the Airbnb is the same
Mhm.
person who invested in us.
And believed in Sula.
So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
crazy because you really don't know what's the stepping stone. You just really have
Yes.
to put yourself out there. It's like, what are the opportunities
Show
I
up.
have?
Yeah.
Show
Yes.
up. Like,
Show up.
who would have
Mhm.
known that we're doing Airbnb and eventually doing Sula? So
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
a crazy, crazy.
And who would have known that Eastern Communications would bring us together? Because the
Yeah.
last time that I saw Mark was during our event for another program episode,
Yes.
which was last year, and we didn't get the chance to really talk,
Yeah.
but you were so passionate about the brand, and I could already see that when you walked in.
Yeah.
So it's really about showing how you show up,
Yes.
how you really give it your all, and how it's about grit and being connected with the people, with good people around you.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we learned so much during this episode. I'm so excited to see where Drink Sula is going to be in, let's say, the next year, even the next
Yes.
6 months. Please, please, please stay connected with us here in Business and Chismis. And of course, I just want to thank you, Vernon and Mark for
Thank you to
joining us
Vanessa.
during this episode.
Thank you.
It was so wonderful learning from you. And once again, my name is Vanessa Caro. This is Business and Tsismis powered by Eastern Communications. It was wonderful being with you today, and we'll see you on the next episode.